Welcome to Database Internals Crashcasts. I'm Sheila, and I'm here with my co-host, Victor. Today, we're kicking off our exciting journey into the world of databases with our first season, Introduction to Databases. We'll be starting with the chapter, What is a Database? And diving right into our first section, Definition and Purpose. Victor, are you ready to unravel the mysteries of databases?
Absolutely, Sheila. I'm thrilled to be here and can't wait to explore this fundamental concept with our listeners. Before we begin, I think it's important to mention that no prior knowledge of databases is required for this episode. We'll be starting from the basics and building our way up.
That's great to hear, Victor. Let's give our listeners a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. We'll start by defining what a database is, explore its purpose, introduce some basic terminology, and discuss the types of data stored in databases. We'll also touch on the importance of databases in modern computing. But before we dive in, I have a fun quiz question for our listeners. Are you ready?
Bring it on, Sheila. I'm sure our listeners are eager to test their knowledge.
All right, here's the question. How many times do you think the average person interacts with a database in a single day? Take a moment to think about it, and we'll reveal the answer at the end of the episode.
Wow, that's an intriguing question, Sheila. It really makes you think about how pervasive databases are in our daily lives. I have a feeling the number might be surprisingly high, but I won't give any hints. I'm excited to hear what our listeners will guess.
Me too, Victor. Now let's start with the basics. Can you give us a simple definition of what a database is?
Certainly. At its core, a database is an organized collection of data stored and accessed electronically. Think of it as a digital filing cabinet where information is stored in a structured way, making it easy to retrieve, update, and manage.
That's a great explanation, Victor. So if I understand correctly, it's like a super-organized digital library of information. But why do we need databases? What's their purpose?
Excellent question, Sheila. The primary purpose of a database is to efficiently store, retrieve, and manage large amounts of data. Databases allow us to, point 1, organize information in a structured manner. 2, access data quickly and easily. 3, maintain data integrity and consistency. 4, support multiple users accessing data simultaneously. Point 5, provide security and control over who can access or modify data. In essence, databases help us make sense of the vast amounts of information we deal with in our digital world.
That makes a lot of sense, Victor. It sounds like databases are crucial for managing information in our increasingly data-driven world. You mentioned some terms like data integrity and data consistency. Could you explain what these mean for our listeners who might be new to these concepts?
Of course, Sheila. Let's break down some of this terminology. Data, raw facts or figures that on their own may not have much meaning. Information, data that has been processed, organized or interpreted to provide meaning and context. Data integrity, ensuring that data remains accurate, consistent and reliable throughout its life cycle. Data consistency, making sure that data is uniform across all instances and users of the database. DBMS, Database Management System, which is the software that interacts with the database, allowing users to store, retrieve, and manipulate data. These concepts are fundamental to understanding how databases work and why they're so important.
Thank you for clarifying those terms, Victor. It's fascinating to see how databases transform raw data into meaningful information. Speaking of which, what kinds of data can be stored in databases? Are we just talking about numbers and text?
Great question, Sheila. Databases can store a wide variety of data types, including, point 1, text, names, addresses, descriptions. 2, numbers, ages, prices, quantities. Point 3, dates and times, birthdays, appointment schedules, quor, images, photos, diagrams, artwork. 5, audio and video files. Point 6, documents, PDFs, spreadsheets. Point 7, geographical data, maps, coordinates. The versatility of databases is one of the reasons they're so widely used across different industries and applications.
Wow, that's quite a range. It really puts into perspective how much we rely on databases in our daily lives. Speaking of which, could you give us some real-world examples of how databases are used?
Absolutely. Databases are everywhere in our modern world. Here are some common examples. Point 1. Social media platforms store user profiles, posts, and interactions. 2. E-commerce websites manage product inventories and customer orders. 3. Banks keep track of account balances and transactions. 4. Hospitals maintain patient records and treatment histories. 5. Libraries catalog books and manage lending systems. 6. Streaming services store movies, TV shows, and user preferences. 7. Governments maintain census data and tax records. These are just a few examples, but databases underpin almost every digital service we use today.
That's incredible, Victor. It really puts our quiz question into perspective. Now, I'm curious about the history of databases. How did we store and manage information before digital databases?
A trip down memory lane. Before digital databases, information was primarily stored using physical filing systems. Imagine rows of filing cabinets filled with paper documents, card catalogs in libraries, or ledger books for financial records. These systems were labor-intensive, prone to errors, and made it difficult to quickly find or update information. The concept of electronic databases emerged in the 1960s with the advent of hard disk storage. The first database management systems were developed to digitize these manual processes, revolutionizing how we store and access information. Since then, database technology has evolved dramatically, leading to the sophisticated systems we use today.
Fascinating. It's amazing to think about how far we've come. You know, Victor, all this talk about organizing and storing information reminds me of a library. Could we use that as an analogy to help our listeners understand databases better?
That's a brilliant idea, Sheila. A library is indeed an excellent analogy for understanding databases. Let's break it down. The library building itself is like the database system. Books represent the data stored in the database. The card catalog or computer system used to find books is similar to the database management system, DBMS. Librarians are like database administrators, managing and organizing the collection. Library members are like database users, accessing and querying the information. The way books are organized by genre, author, or topic is similar to how data is structured in tables or collections within a database. Just as a library makes it easy to find and access books, a database makes it efficient to store, retrieve, and manage data.
Thank you, Victor. That analogy really helps visualize how databases work. Now, as we wrap up this episode, could you summarize the key points we've covered about the definition and purpose of databases?
Certainly, Sheila. Here are the main takeaways from our discussion. Point 1. A database is an organized collection of electronic data. Point 2. The purpose of databases is to efficiently store, retrieve, and manage large amounts of information. Point 3. Databases ensure data integrity, consistency, and security. 4. They can store various types of data, from text and numbers to images and videos. 5. Databases are used in countless applications across industries, from social media to healthcare. 6. The concept of databases evolved from physical filing systems to the digital systems we use today. Understanding these fundamentals is crucial as we delve deeper into the world of databases in future episodes.
Excellent summary, Victor. And now, the moment our listeners have been waiting for, the answer to our quiz question. On average, a person interacts with databases hundreds of times a day. From checking social media and emails to making online purchases or using GPS navigation, databases are behind almost every digital interaction we have. In our next episode, we'll be exploring the history and evolution of databases, which should be fascinating given how much we've touched on their importance today. Before we sign off, we'd love to hear from our listeners. If you enjoyed this episode or have any questions, please visit crashcasts.com, join our Discord channel, or support us on Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe and rate our podcast on your favorite platform. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more database enthusiasts. Until next time, keep querying.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We can't wait to continue this database journey with you. See you in the next episode.